There we go.
No, I bet one of the little kids, because there's no word.
Okay, it is 5:00 p.m. on Tuesday, November 19th, 2024. I will call this special town board meeting of the town of Low Point to order. We'll take a roll call. Mike Anderson.
Here.
Amy Baxter, Susan Brenna.
Here.
Samantha Dobson.
Here.
And Glenn Carlson here. We also have our town clerk with us and our accounting administrator and members of the public. Is there any public comment? Oh, okay. Moving on, resolution 2024-1119. This is the resolution whereby we are recommending that the town electors on December 5th approve levy that we are asking for, which is $2,069,155, which represents an increase of 5% from the prior year. That is on our list of things to do tonight. So is there a motion to approve the resolution 2024-1119? And this is the amount that allows the budget to be balanced with zero income or loss.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-1119.
Is there a second?
A second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yes, what did you say about loss again? You just said,
Well,
Makes
the budget is balanced. There is no profit or loss to the overall budget. It's a balanced budget
got it,
that we're proposing.
got it.
And just for folks' information, we've gotten the school district levy amount. And I think, as we may have talked about before, the town's equalized assessed value went down this year relative to all of the other municipalities in both the school district and the county, Ashland County. So what that means is that the town taxpayers' share of the school levy and the county levy will actually go down from what it was last year. And I don't have the county numbers yet, but I can tell you the school numbers represent a decrease in our overall tax levy of $220,000. So it may be actually that even with our 5% increase, it might be that people's tax bills will actually be lower this year than they were last year. So anyhow, any other comments, discussion? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, hire accounting manager. And I know that after our last meeting that Sam and Sue did have an interview with one of the candidates that we were moving forward with. And do you have a recommendation?
We do have a recommendation to hire.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, the whole thing. I thought maybe she was going to second, but
Oh,
Yeah,
well, no,
we
you
can
just
okay.
make a motion and
I'll make a motion. We hire Lizzie Brown as hiring accounting manager
at the rate of $32 an hour.
beginning on November 25th.
Okay,
November 25th.
next Monday.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
How long's Lauren gonna stay on?
Till, I think December 13th.
I mean, probably.
Yeah, so there'll be about a 2-week overlap. Okay, any other questions?
I have another comment.
Go ahead.
Due to the babysitting problems, and I've spoken with the chair about this, she's going to be working a 9 to 5 instead of an 8 to 4. Because it's hard to get people that are tending bar late to her house by 7:45. That'll put someone in the town hall an hour later, and that might be convenient for the residents also to have some letter.
And the office or the town hall will remain open Well, she's,
Mhm.
Any other discussion?
Was it advertised as 8 to 4?
It wasn't advertised.
she's for it.
Yeah.
No,
She could basically come in when, like if she found herself, like Barb used to do. I mean, she could basically come in if she wanted.
I think she's gonna do the 9 to 5,
Yeah.
except for during budget season.
Perfect.
Okay. Any other further discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. And Alex, would you let her know? Thank you. Moving on, reconsider zoning ordinance regarding setbacks and easements. We did discuss this at our last meeting and talked about having this go back to the TPC to have them review their original decision in light of the memo that we got from our attorney, Bryce Shaneburn. Since then, I've had meetings with the neighbors of Tim Eldridge, and also I've talked with some members of the Town Planning Commission. And it seems that the best course of action right now is for the town board to simply say that we are interpreting the setback and easement ordinance and part of the zoning ordinance to allow an easement of the nature that we have before us to satisfy the setbacks. This is based on our attorney's recommendation as well as the neighbor's agreement. We do feel, though, that this is not a precedent that we want to have going forward. And so I think as part of our action tonight, we need to ask the TPC to consider language to foreclose this avenue in the future. And so with that, I will make a motion that upon the payment of the town's legal fees, reimbursement of the town's legal fees by Mr. Eldridge of approximately $1,500, and upon completion, complete execution of the neighbor agreement that they have drafted between themselves and Mr. Eldridge. And that will provide them to be able to, for us to lift the stop work order. They will need to have the easement agreement recorded by January 31st of 2025, or we will impose another stop work order on them. And I think that that is it. Is
I'll
there a
second.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Yeah. So on page 2 for the grant of easement, so whose responsibility is to follow that? Like it says, Alan Dorff and Marquardt will grant Eldridge the easement, blah, blah, blah.
Mhm.
And prior to Alan Dorff, Marquardt granting the easement, the determination and mapping and the creation of the legal description, that's whose job is to make sure all this is done.
Pretty much Eldridge is going to be paying for all of those costs.
So is it, there's nothing at the town, the zoning administrator doesn't have to make sure all this is done?
No.
Okay.
No. Okay, any other comments? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item. It has obviously been our experience recently that some of our land use permits have been issued not necessarily with the greatest of diligence. And so I'm going to recommend, or I'll move that the town board is interpreting the zoning ordinance, which is a little ambiguous as to who approves land use permits. And I had building permits in the agenda. It should be land use and not building permits. James Price corrected me this morning. And so that the TPC actually be approving all land use permits before the zoning administrator signs the permit. And so I will make that as a motion.
Second.
So, well,
Okay.
I'll second it with the discussion.
You already
So-
seconded it. Amy already seconded it.
Can we discuss it? So to get this straight now, before Ed issues a land use permit, it has to go in front of the TPC, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And they have to approve it.
Yes.
And then he issues the land use permit,
Yes.
but not a building permit.
James does the building permits, is my understanding.
So this is just the land use permit?
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
And I have a question.
Well, Sam had one
Oh,
first.
sorry, Sam. I-
Just on the speed of which the permits are being approved, is
Mhm.
that gonna be setting folks back on a timeline?
I think that,
Because of how frequently they meet?
sure, and I think that the TPC, at least the members I've talked to, indicated a willingness to call special meetings if necessary to expedite building land use permit applications.
Do we have, because they get, I'm thinking budget. They
Yeah,
also
so
get
it's
paid
about
for
a two, for a special TPC meeting for like a builder, it's I think $275 charge that they have to pay, because that then pays the TPC members
Got it. Okay.
their meeting per diem.
That was my question.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, consider putting propane contract out for bid. Mr. Nelson was told that he had until noon on Friday to sign the contract. He was the low bidder. He has not signed the contract. I have talked with our legal counsel, and he recommends that we consider that Mr. Nelson is in breach of his agreement, his offer at this price, and that we simply rebid, put this out for bid again. And so I'll entertain a motion to put the contract for propane out for bid with a note in the instructions that they are expected to sign an agreement, the town's standard agreement, within 2 weeks of the town board approving their bid.
So in the meantime, because it's gonna get cold out, so our fire department and all those buildings, they have propane and everything.
Also,
Yeah, and
he
Midland,
told me they were also.
yeah, and Midland is continuing.
So we're good there?
Yeah, Midland's continuing to go by the contract even though it has expired. So they're following through on their what their price had been.
And whatever the problem was with the past bids that we got,
They need to know that they need to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah, because Bryce did say that I think you may have seen his email.
yeah,
That he felt that their Midland's bid did not meet the specifications that we laid out. which was
exactly.
That it needed to be a price per gallon, including the ferry fee. And
Not as a
not
separate one.
a separate per gallon plus ferry fee. Okay, so they've got to figure out what the ferry fee works out to per gallon and include that in their bid.
And so is Alex or somebody gonna, like, if they want an explanation of that, is she gonna tell them? Okay.
And Georgine has been dealing with them, I believe.
Or Jean,
Yeah.
just so somebody knows what's going on.
Okay.
So my question on that when I was thinking about it is, because I don't know this, but do these people that come over and do this, do their rates change as the season changes? Or it's just always the same? So that is something they can do.
Yep. Okay, do we have a motion?
Yes.
Okay, a motion to put the propane out for bid again.
I'll make a motion that we put the propane out for bid again.
Second that.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Moving on, discuss town administrator candidates. The town board may go into closed session during the meeting for the purpose of considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility under section 19.851C. After the completion of the closed session, the board will come back into open session to act upon the discussion in the closed session or otherwise complete the business of the meeting before adjourning. Is there a motion to go into closed session for this purpose?
I'll make a motion. We go into closed session for the said subjects.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mike Anderson,
Yes.
Amy Baxter,
Yes.
Susan Brenna.
Yes.
Samantha Dobson,
Yes.
and Glenn Carlson, yes. Okay,